The Detroit Pistons have to prepare to play without Jaden Ivey to start the season, as we've gotten some disappointing news surrounding his status for the start of this year. Can the Pistons start the year and survive without Jaden Ivey? We'll break it down in today's episode, Locked On Pistons Podcast. Let's go.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Per usual, I am your host, Ku Khahil. I've been covering the Detroit Pistons for the last 4 years for the Locked On Network Bank Credential Media member over the last 3 years. And as usual, I appreciate all of you guys who make Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons, hit that subscribe button, or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. That's another great way to support the podcast. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started today. Later on, we will discuss just how great Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren looked in this game, and really just how great Cade's looked throughout the entire preseason. We'll talk about that. And also, Point Asar dialed back a little bit in this final game. Does this mean we're not going to see Asar with the ball in his hands this year? We'll break it down. Coming up, this was the Pistons' final preseason game, but we have to start with some disappointing news. Very, 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 very sad, unfortunate news. I do want to let you guys know that this is my second time recording the podcast, because the first time I recorded the 35-minute podcast, I didn't capture any of my audio. So this is now the second time we're doing it. Hopefully everything goes well. The heartbreaking, sad news is that Jaden Ivey is going to be out at least 4 weeks, as he had a procedure done on his knee. He's had surgery. JB Bickerstaff, it was reported, I should say, today by Shams Charania, confirmed by the Pistons PR team. And JB Bickerstaff spoke about it today before the Pistons preseason game and said that this was something that Ivey was dealing with in training camp. It got worse as training camp went on. It got worse in the Memphis Grizzlies for their first preseason game against the Memphis Grizzlies. And it got to a point where they felt like the best case scenario, or the best thing to do for Ivey, was to go ahead and have this surgery to clear it up. Now, they say he will be reevaluated in 4 weeks, which means in 4 weeks, we'll probably get the update that in 2 weeks, we'll get another one. The assumption is that usually how this goes is in 4 weeks, we'll get the update that says Jaden Ivey will now begin ramping up in practice to, get ready for game. We'll have another update for you in 2 weeks. That's usually how it goes. So I'm going to assume that he's out at least 6 weeks. That's going to be my assumption. That's usually how this works. If it goes, somehow it goes way better, and this is surgery, so I don't feel like you should rush anything like that. And Pistons fans, especially Pistons fans, have seen what star players and specifically their starting guards going through getting knee surgery, minor procedure, what can happen when you come back too soon. I mean, we've seen it in the last, we know how that would go. So don't want him to rush back. Wait till he gets 100% healthy. I'm going to assume at least 6 weeks. I want to start by saying I feel really bad for Ivey. He spoke about it at media day, how he felt like he was in a dark place after the injury he had last year, and how my voice just cracked just now. That's weird. How he felt like he was in a dark space and he had to really work his way back, and he had to really work on the mental. And it really felt like that last year really challenged him mentally. And he had talked about how he had worked himself back to feeling like himself and all that stuff. So the fact that before the season even starts, he gets his return delayed again due to another injury, just from him trying to ramp up, he has to get surgery. I feel bad for him. It's just terrible to see. Really unfortunate. I really feel bad for him. I wish him a speedy recovery, obviously. That's from his perspective. I feel like that's where you should always start. Can the Pistons survive without Ivey? I think so. I'm not saying, I want to make it clear, I am not saying here saying that the Pistons are better without Ivey on the team. I am saying that this team played well without him last year. They played well the second half of last year, made this leap without him. And now they have Asar for a full year, getting into full shape. They brought in Karis LeVert, who last year they didn't get that secondary, that backup point guard, whatever, until Dennis Schroeder midway through the year. Now they have it already on the roster to start the year. They have Duncan Robinson. Like, they have their vets. They have the backup point guard that they didn't get until midway through the year. And Asar is here all year. And they were able to play well without Ivey this past year. I think they have a roster to where they should be fine. They should be fine without him. They should be able to play well and win a lot of games without him. The ceiling gets dropped for sure. Like, I get that, but they should still play really well. They should still be good. So I'm not. It's obviously unfortunate. You want Ivey out there, but I don't think this is like panic time. Pistons fans should be like, "Oh, God, here we go. Season's already getting screwed up." Like, no, I think the Pistons are still going to be really good for this time to start the year. I think they'll be fine. So that's the on-court stuff. The off-court stuff. Look, man, again, it's just so unfortunate for him because in 4 days is the rookie extension deadline, October 20th. That's the deadline for an extension. I'm not saying he was getting one. I think it was unlikely he was getting one, but nonetheless, 4 days from now is his rookie extension deadline, and he gets hurt 4 days before, has to get surgery. Like, just unfortunate. He's going into a contract year after missing the second half, the last 50 games of last year, and before the season even gets started, he then has to miss even more time. So we really could be getting close to a year since he's played basketball going into a contract year. That's incredibly unfortunate for him. Just like it's just unlucky and unfortunate. And then, like, okay, the best case scenario for the Pistons, right, is that they play extremely well without him still. They're able to play really well. They still win a lot of games, right? And this starting lineup of Cade, Asar, Duncan Robinson, this is what it's going to be. Duncan Robinson, Tobias, and Duren. They play really well, and they're still able to continue last year's success, right? That's the hope. The other side of that is that if that does happen, when Ivey returns, like, it's going to be like unavoidable an awkward situation because all of us want the Pistons to play really well and win a lot of games despite Ivey being out. And if they actually do that, when Ivey does come back, would you bring him back in the starting lineup? If that starting lineup is playing so well and they're winning games, now what? Like, do you bring him back into the starting lineup? Do you potentially shake up something that's really working? Do you bring him off the bench? Would he be okay with, like, is that really what he wants to be doing in a contract? Like, it just, and again, obviously what's at the forefront is him get healthy and get back, and you worry about this later. But like, these are the thoughts that eventually are going to come to pass. And they're all just like unfortunate situations that neither the team nor Ivey could control. It's not like either team, either side of this, anyone made this happen. Like, it's just events that you can't control. And the last part of this that is obviously going to be a thought, and I already see some fans talking about this, it's now on the board. It's on the board. I'm not saying this is the likely scenario, but it's now on the board that through 4 years, we may see Trajan have to make a decision without ever getting the sample size anyone ever wanted. First year, Cade's gone for the year, so you don't get it there. Next year, Monty Williams. Like, everyone takes that out, right? Next year, Ivey misses 50 games. Misses the entire second half of last year. Then, in fourth year, and again, this is not anyone rushing it. It's just, this is what the timeline is demanding. He's in a contract year. This is when decisions have to be made. This is the year. He's going to be a restricted free agent. Like, this, it's unavoidable. Fourth year, think you're finally going to get the sample size the first half of the year to where you can make a decision. You can feel confident and be like, okay, we finally got the sample size. Where do we want to do? Where do we want to go? What do we want to do? And then before the season even starts, he gets surgery and he can't play. He's going to miss time. So it's now on the board that we may reach a point where Trajan ends up having to make a decision without the Pistons ever actually getting the sample size that they wanted at any point with all of the young guys together. And sometimes we've seen that happen throughout the NBA. Sometimes it happens like that because of unfortunate situations. I'm not saying that's the likeliest scenario. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's now on the board. And if that does end up happening, what an absolute unlucky and unfortunate situation. That would be so incredibly disappointing. Like, I feel bad for him, obviously, Ivey. Feel bad for the team. Like this is just tough, man. It's absolutely tough. And the fact that that's now on the board, it's just like, who would have thought that we're going into year 4 now? And again, if I am right that we're looking closer to 6+ weeks, which is what I think we're looking at, somewhere around there. We're not getting a return from Ivey until midway through December, late December, maybe something like that. It will be like a year since he's actually played basketball. So now, even when he does return, it's going to be damn near a year since he's played. He's going to have to knock off rust for like I don't know. I don't think anyone's expecting him to come back and immediately be a star. That's not fair to him. He'd have to knock off rust, get back into game shape. How long is all that going to take? Now you're even minimizing the sample size you can really take away. Even like it's just, there's just no way. There's no way that we're going to wrap up. There's a chance that we may wrap up year 4 and come away saying we never got the sample size we really wanted. Like it's just there's no way that could possibly happen. Just feel bad for Ivey. I hope he comes back 100% as soon as possible. You know, I don't really want him to rush, so I take back as soon as possible. I don't want him to rush back. But I hope whenever he can get back to 100%, that's obviously what we're rooting for here. Feel bad for him. Wish him the best. Hopefully, I think the Pistons can survive without him. I think they have a roster to do so. We're going to talk about another reason why I think they will survive. Cade looks, he looks good. But this is incredibly unfortunate, man. Feel bad for everyone involved, and especially Ivey, man. Hopefully he's in a better spot mentally to handle this. After what he said at media day, I know his teammates will be there, but tough situation, man. Feel bad for him. Let me know, comment section down below or over on Twitter at Ku Khahil. What was your guys' reactions, and what are you guys thinking right now? What are the thoughts in your head? Like, what's going on? Let me know what you guys are thinking. Comment section down below or over on Twitter at Ku Khahil. Coming up, we'll talk about some more positive stuff. Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham looked absolutely fantastic in this last preseason game, and Cade he looks like he's on an even different level than last year through preseason. We'll break it down coming up. Today's episode is brought to you by Wayfair. The holidays are going to be here before you even know it, which is exciting. But getting your home ready for guests and celebrations can feel like a lot. Maybe your whole house needs a whole new makeover. You want everything to look brand new. You want all kinds of different looks for all your friends and family to come over and really be impressed by your place. Well, Wayfair is there for you. It has everything you need to get your home holiday ready, from Christmas trees to better bedding, more or maybe not better bedding, but different looking, unique style looking, more cookware, outdoor inflatables. It's your one-stop shop for every room in the house. Wayfair makes it easy to personalize your home for the holidays with a huge selection for every style and budget. And with free, easy delivery, even on the big stuff, you can get everything you need without the hassle of huge delivery fees. Again, the delivery is fast and free, which is a lifesaver during a busy time of the year. Now, instead of stressing about getting the house ready, you can actually enjoy the holidays with friends and family. So get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home with Wayfair. So I want to thank you guys again. Make Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free to available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. That's another great way to support the podcast. I did just drop another film breakdown going over preseason game 3 today. Going over all the Pistons pick and roll possessions. They struggled mightily in game 3 without Cade in the half court, especially in pick and roll possession. They scored just 0.33 points per possessions. I went through all their pick and rolls, broke down. Was it just bad execution? Was it bad reads? What's leading to it? I went through and looked at it, broke it down for you guys. So click the Substack down below in the description if you guys want to check out that film breakdown. Also, if you want to join us for the live watch parties when the Pistons open their season on the 22nd, click the Playback link down below. Download the Playback app on whatever your Google store or App Store. Go to Watch Pistons, join the room, and you'll be able to watch the game with me and the rest of the Pistons fan base. Always a fun time. But let's go ahead and get into it. Cade and Jalen Duren were fantastic in this game. And I'm going to start with Jalen Duren because Cade, I'm going to go for a while. But JD in this game against the Wizards, 20 points, 6 rebounds. He had 3 blocks, 2 steals in just 19 minutes of action. 19 minutes of action. 3 blocks, 2 steals, 20.6 rebounds. He looked absolutely fantastic in this game. He had multiple really good rim protection reps in the half court here, which great to see. He had an incredible chase down block that was like, I don't know how he got to it or stayed with it. Like he played really good defensively in this game, I thought. Very active. Offensively, you saw the connection between him and Cade. I seriously think this year they'll have an argument for like the best pick and roll duo in the league. Like they just have such a crazy connection where they're connecting on passes on lobs that you just don't think are there, and then all of a sudden it's an easy dunk. Their connection is incredible. It looked great in this game. And then obviously we saw some of the dribble drive stuff from Jalen Duren in the half court, some of the isolation from the high post. And his footwork looks even more improved in this game. His touch around the rim is still there. Finishing, still there. But the footwork, the creative finishes looked even better in this game, I should say, than we saw last year. JD, we talked about this earlier with JI. 4 days from now is their rookie extension deadline. Now, Ivy looks like it's unlikely now. I thought it was unlikely beforehand. JD may get extended. We don't know yet. I think it's more likely he would get extended. And closing the preseason out like this, just stay tuned. Keegan Murray from the same draft class this week got a $28 million per year extension. I believe 2 days ago he got that. Another player from that extension or that class that got an extension, Jabari Smith, he got it for a 22.5 a year. I think the Pistons would like to get JD between that, 28 and 22.5. So just stay tuned for that. But I thought JD looked fantastic in this game. The connection with Cade, obviously off the charts. The last thing I want to say, though, about Jalen Duren, we finally got one of the best reps through preseason, finally, between him and Duncan Robinson and DHOs. It was over on the left wing. JD read the defender on Duncan. It was really tight. So JD threw ahead for Duncan, but threw it behind his own back. Let Duncan chase after it. Really creative pass. Was able to screen Duncan's man, get just enough of him to create a wide open look for Duncan to just run into a pass off a DHO, hit the 3 and 1 because the defender had to try to jump to block it from behind because JD had a good screen and just such a good screening angle, really, and a creative pass. Created an and 1 opportunity for Duncan. Their best dribble handoff rep of the preseason by far. It was fantastic. It looked like they finally got something going. So I love seeing that you're going to see more of that in the regular season, I'm sure. But it was good to finally see it because it's something that we've all been looking forward to seeing. Looked really good. All right, now let's get to Cade, man. Guys, I am trying my hardest. I can't lie. I am trying my hardest to not overreact. But this is what Cade has done in 24 minutes. First game, 20 and 4 on 8 of 11 shooting in just 19 minutes. Next game in just 19 minutes, 26 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds on 8 of 14 shooting in 19 minutes. Then in this game in 24 minutes, 16 points, 12 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 6 of 10 from the field. And oh, by the way, he's shooting around 57% from 3. Look, guys, if Cade is on this type of timing, we have seen guys look great in preseason, then not look good in the regular season, and guys that don't look good in the preseason, then look good in the regular season. The point with bringing that up is that it's hard to read in the preseason and know what you can take away for the regular season or not. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that Cade all of a sudden is going to come out to the regular season and not be good. My point is that it's hard to know just how much of this is actually real. Like this next level it looks like he's taking is actually real until we see it in the regular season. With that said, the finishing improvement looks like it's there. I'm not even just looking at the finishing numbers, the percentages. I'm looking at the type of finishes he's doing, the type of finishes he's getting to. We've already seen him like 3 or 4 finishes in this preseason go to shots around the rim that he just didn't attempt last year. The first shot he made tonight was a drive going up against Ausar at the rim, who's a good rim protector. And instead of trying to go through him and force a tough finish on the same side of the rim, goes to a crafty reverse from the middle of from like the left side of the floor, like the left side of the paint, I would say. Nice reverse, a finish that you just wouldn't have seen him even attempt last year. Really, really crafty and clever finish. He had a few finishes with his left hand as well on the other end of the floor when they switched sides in the second half that were really impressive. There was one drive I really liked. He drove right baseline, tried to do that little fake half spin that he loves doing. They cut it off. He gave the guy a little bit of a bump, created just enough space right around the block, and kind of just elevated for a soft touch floater type. I don't want to say a floater because it was too close to be really considered a floater, but it wasn't like a finger roll layup. It was like a nice touch, soft touch shot, I guess, a soft floater. And it was just all net. Just creative finishes that I haven't seen him go to these finishes before. It wasn't just this game, previous games too. He's much stronger on these drives at the rim as well. You've seen him power through finishes and kind of make finishes that last year, you can see he falls away from the basket. The bumps at the rim maybe bother him. This time you can tell that he's stronger and he hasn't fallen away from the rim. He's going to the basket. He's tapping out the glass on finishes. He's bullying guys at the rim. He's absorbing that contact. The finishing looks improved already through preseason. Look, I know we'll have to wait to see if it translates to the regular season, but it looks improved to me. It looks improved to me, which is huge, it was the biggest area he had to improve on. Then the pull-up three-point shooting. He's hitting contested threes. He's hitting step back threes. He's hitting yank back threes. He's hitting sidestep threes. Like, he is catch and shoot threes with someone in his face. Like, today he hit someone with the Kobe Bryant 2K26 jab step and then pull up three in their face. Like, look, man, he looks like he's on a different level from last year. And last year he was a third-team All-NBA guy. He was great last year. And through preseason, he looks like he's on a different level. And I'm saying what I'm about to say is not suggesting that Cade didn't have confidence already. He had confidence in himself. But you've heard players talk about this before. You can have confidence in yourself, but until you actually do it and prove to everybody else, and prove everyone else either wrong or right, whatever, it takes your confidence or your I don't want to say confidence is the only word I can think of, but like confidence and comfortability to another level once you actually do it. Once you do it for a season, you've got that pressure off your shoulders. Like, okay, I believed I could do it, but I actually did it now. I proved everyone wrong or right, whichever one, and I got that burden off my shoulders. Now I can just go be great. Now I can go, I know who I am, and now I know I can reach this next level. Let's go do it. You can tell that's where Cade is at right now. You can tell that having that season last year, the pressure's off of him. He's proven it to everybody that he is that dude. And now he's just comfortable in that. He's comfortable in the idea that I am one of the best players in the league. And now I'm just going out there and show it. Now I know that's what I am. There's just this level of swag and comfortability you're seeing from him where it's like, yeah, I'm one of the 10 best players alive. I'm going to be in MVP conversations this year. Like, that's how I'm that great. Whereas last year it was like he's proving himself. He's proven himself now. You can tell there's a different type of energy with him. He's looking really good, man. And if he's playing like this in the regular season, we're talking top 5 MVP finishes. And this is another reason why, despite the Ivy news, I think the Pistons will be fine because Cade is looking different. He's on some different timing. So let me know, comment section down below or over on Twitter at Ku Khahil, how you guys feel about how Jalen Duren played in this final game. And then also let me know what you've seen from Cade during this preseason, how you guys are feeling about him going into the regular season. Comment section down below or over on Twitter at Ku Khahil. Coming up, Ausar Thompson. We saw the point Asar dialed back in this final game. Does that mean we're not going to see Asar with the ball in his hands now? We'll break it down coming up. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love how FanDuel gives me so many ways to play. I've built parlays, tried player props, and even followed the live lines during the games. It makes watching football even more exciting when you've got a little something riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. And if you're a new customer, Put down $5. If it hits, you'll get $300 in bonus bets. Use across the app. Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today. Get started with FanDuel. So I want to thank you guys again. Make Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. That's another great way to support the podcast. I feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit. It's probably because I had to record the podcast a second time, and I was on a live stream for the watch party before that for the previous 2 hours. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Hopefully that drink of water helps a little bit. My goodness. I may not be able to record no more. Just joking. All right. In this final game, we heard from JB this week that he wanted the final 2 preseason games to simulate regular season action a little bit more. But he wasn't able to do it last game because Cade was out, Karis LeVert was out, Ivey was out, but before we knew that it was like a longer term issue. But really because Cade was out. You can't really simulate live action when your best player is not on the floor. So they were able to do it a little bit in this game. Now, obviously, they didn't reveal their full deck of cards. They were still experimenting with certain things. You could tell they were playing a little bit more freely at times. Not, there was definitely some possessions when you saw them not take it as serious or maybe just throw up, whatever. But you did get an idea. They did play this a little bit more real, I would say, and you got an idea. You could see into what is. You could have some takeaways. I will say. And one of the things you saw in this game is that you did not see much of the point Asar that we saw through the first 3 preseason games. So does that mean that when the regular season comes around, you won't see point Asar? I will say real quickly, this Asar stat line. He had 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals in 23 minutes of action, 3 of 6 from the field, hit both of his free throws. I know that's been some people have been talking about. But thought he had a fine game. Thought he played fine. Played good. Does that mean we just won't see point guard Asar this year? Did people actually think we were going to see point guard Asar? Did people think that's what we were going? I hope I feel like too many people read way too much into the amount of usage Asar was getting in the preseason, because it was to a point in some games where he was more of the point guard than Cade was. Did anyone actually think that we were going to see more on-ball Cade than on-ball Asar, or more on-ball Asar than on-ball Cade? Obviously not. It was very clear that they were throwing all the reps at Asar, letting him get as many reps as possible in the preseason to practice, and then dial it back to wherever they want it to when the regular season rolls around. So are we going to get point guard Asar? No, I don't think. I never thought we were going to get point guard Asar where he's the main ball handler on the floor. No. Were we ever going to get primary ball handler Asar Thompson? No, that was never on the board. You're not going to get primary ball handling Asar Thompson when you have Cade Cunningham on the basketball team. That's not the role for Asar Thompson. Are you still going to get ball handling Asar Thompson? Are you still going to get secondary playmaker Asar Thompson? Are you going to get secondary ball handler Asar Thompson? Yes, you will get that. And the rotations from JB in this game kind of showed that. Asar was the first person subbed out of this game around the 7.5 minute mark. And who came in was Isaiah Stewart. And they played double bigs. And I said this during the live watch party. I ended up being right. Pat myself on the back a little bit. I said, okay, my guess here is what they're doing. They're going double bigs. They're going to split the backup 4 minutes between Stu and Ron. And they're going to bring Asar back in about 3 minutes with Ron for Duren and Tobias. That way, Ron and Asar are always playing their minutes with Stu. Ron and Stu split their minutes at the 4. Then Stu can just bump up to 5. That's how you can get Stu more minutes. And then you stagger Cade with Asar. So I was off just a little bit. Asar came in for Cade, not for Tobias. But everything else I was mostly correct with. JB was staggering Asar and Cade. And why was he doing that? Because especially now without Ivey on the floor, I believe you're going to see them like they did in this game. They're going to stagger Asar and Cade. Cade's going to handle the ball when he's on the floor. When Cade's off the floor, I think you're going to see Asar handle the ball. You're going to see him initiate the action. You're going to see him initiate the offense. Him and Karis LeVert. I know you saw Dennis play a lot in this game. I don't anticipate Dennis Jenkins playing in the rotation when the season comes around. He's looked fine. We like Dennis, but I don't think he's going to be in the rotation when the season comes around. Honestly, if anyone cracks the rotation because of Ivey going out, it should be Marcus Sasser. He fits that role much better. The off-ball scorer. That's exactly what Sasser does. Like, this should be the perfect opportunity for Sasser to finally play what he's supposed to play, but that's a whole different topic. You saw JB go to it. They staggered Asar with Cade because they want Asar to be that guy who initiates the offense, that handles the ball when Cade's off the floor. That's the whole point of that. So, yeah, I think you're going to see Asar with the ball in his hands. You're going to see him as an initiator, as a ball handler. And through the first 3 preseason games, you got some good and you got some bad. And that's why they gave him as many reps as possible so they can get an idea of, okay, this is where he looked better at. This is where he didn't. How much do we believe we can give him? And how soon should we increase the load? That's the whole point of that. So, even in this game, you didn't get nearly as much of the first 2 games, obviously. But even in this game, you did see him initiate some offense with Cade on the floor. I'd say probably like 3 possessions he initiated with Cade on the floor. And then when Cade off the floor, it was him and Karras initiating some action. Danis had a lot of that usage as well, but I don't anticipate Danis taking up that much usage. And obviously, like I just mentioned, in the rotation as well. So, yeah, you're going to see Asar dribble the ball. You're going to see Asar ball handle and create. You're not going to get primary ball handling Ausar Thompson. You shouldn't. I don't think anyone really wanted or expected that. You're not going to get point guard Asar. I don't think anyone really wanted that in the context of what people were, it seemed like a lot of fans were taking it as. But you are going to see Asar do more this year, and hopefully he plays well doing it. Can't wait for the opening night, season opener, and how they really want to unleash, I should say, their ball handlers, what the hierarchy is with that. But yeah, I thought Asar played fine in this. I thought he looked good. He looked like Asar. So, played more off ball for sure. Had a really tough 3, airball a 3 from the top of the key off a pull-up. Don't know if we should be getting pull-up 3s from Asar, but preseason, I guess, whatever. We'll just have to wait for the regular season to find out just how much of the usage he's going to get as a ball handler, but you are going to see some of it for sure. For sure. That's all I've got for you guys today, though. Thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. The Pistons open their season on the 22nd, Wednesday. We'll be there with the playback room. It's unfortunate, man, that this is going to be another season without, or not another season without Ivey, but we're still going to be without Ivey on the floor. It's going to be tough to see that. Again, unfortunate situation for him. Feel really bad for him, but Pistons got to go on, and hopefully they continue to play well and get a win opening night. Again, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons first listen. Hit that subscribe button to the YouTube channel. Leave us a 5-star review, whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Stay safe out there, and peace out, everybody.